Trustee Pierce Slovan, can you test your mic?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Can you try that again? Trustee Pierce Slovan, can you hear me?
Oh, I answered you. You didn't hear me?
Oh, all right. Can you say something again?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Just barely. Yeah. Try that one more time.
Are you talking to me? I can't hear you.
Yes, trustee.
Can you hear me now?
Try that. Try again.
We're about 30 seconds away from starting.
One more time.
Yes, I will continue talking with you.
We can hear you, but you're very low. One more time.
Okay.
All right.
Is she okay?
It's a little low, but
Okay.
Kamani, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. A little.
Okay. I
good
don't know
evening.
what to do. I'm in the same computer as the last meeting, and you were able to hear me there, so I'm sorry.
I think if you speak up, we can hear you. It's adequate.
So you want me to pretend I'm talking to my kids and yell like that?
There you go. Yep. We moms have good practice at that, don't we? Welcome to the Village Board meeting of March 16th, 2026, or St. Patrick's Day Eve, as I call it. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening by our village clerk, Manal Desai.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Colleagues, is there anyone who objects to Trustee Pierce Slovan participating remotely? Okay, hearing no objections, welcome Trustee Pierce Slovan. Will our clerk please call the roll? I call the meeting to order, and I ask that our clerk please call the roll.
Trustee Pierce Slovan?
Aye.
Trustee Schechter?
Here.
Trustee Kimani Levy?
Here.
Trustee Robinson?
here.
Trustee Iverson?
Here.
Trustee Lissa Levy?
Here.
Mayor Tennis?
Here, and we have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Is there anyone would like to have removed from the consent agenda? Trustee Iverson.
I'd like to have 4600 Main.
Okay, and that is under our Corporation Council. Okay. All right, we will set that aside and deal with it later when it would come up in the agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, is that process?
Yep.
Okay. With that removed for separate consideration, I would ask for a motion to approve the remainder of the consent agenda. Trustee Lissa Levy, the Levys have it, second by Trustee Kamani Levy. Any discussion? Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Pierce Slovan?
Aye.
Trustee Schechter? Aye. Trustee Kimani Levy?
Aye.
Trustee Robinson?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Lissa Levy?
Aye. And the motion passes. One footnote on the consent agenda. One of the items was a really wonderful proclamation for Hub's Restaurant in Skokie on Dempster Street for their 50th anniversary. Unfortunately, the family had an emergency come up, nothing horrible, and no one was able to be here tonight as planned. So we wish them well. We are grateful for their 50 years of investment in Skokie, and I plan to visit their location personally as soon as possible, not only to get some wonderful Greek potatoes that are my favorite, but to hand them the proclamation. And the Thanakis family they're very philanthropic, and they're an important part of the community. So if you have occasion to stop in there, please congratulate them on their 50th anniversary in Skokie. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a presentation on the Block Party of the Year Awards by our Human Relations Commission Chairperson, Maria Monastero Bueno. She is being helped by the Vice Chair, Sheila Crumrine, and Amanda Sabri, our staff liaison from the Health and Human Services Department.
Ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone, Mayor and Board of Trustees, and so happy to have a nice group of guests with us tonight. My name, as Mayor told you, is Maria Monastero Bueno, and I chair the Human Relations Commission for the Village of Skokie. Our Vice Chair is Sheila Crumrine, and Amanda Sabri is our liaison with the village. We also have two trustee liaisons this year, Trustee Schechter, and she's gone now, Trustee Pure-Slovan. So very excited to work with these wonderful folks. In addition, I'd like to introduce our commissioners who are here this evening. I think Rachel Moore is here, and Gurjot Bilku, Dave Donegan, Cheryl Bloom-Basil, and did I miss anyone? No? Okay, great. Block parties have long been a cherished tradition in the village of Skokie. These gatherings give neighbors the opportunity to come together, socialize, share food and drinks, and enjoy activities for all ages. Beyond the fun, block parties play an important role in strengthening community connections. They bring together residents from different backgrounds and generations, helping neighbors get to know one another and build a stronger sense of belonging. In 2025, residents across Skokie hosted 84 block parties, reflecting the continued enthusiasm for this neighborhood tradition. 10 block parties submitted applications for the Block Party of the Year award. After careful review by the Human Relations Commission, 3 outstanding block parties were selected to receive this year's recognition. As I announce the winners, and I'm going to do the 3, I'll announce all 3, and then we'll do each block individually. At that point, I'd like whoever is here from those blocks to please come and accept your award as we show some photos of what you submitted for your application. In addition to your certificate, each winning block will receive a lovely brown Block Party of the Year sign to proudly display on their block for the next year. These are a hot commodity, folks. So the following 3 block parties were selected by the Human Relations Commission to receive the 2025 Block Party of the Year award. 5100 Elm Street from Laramie to LeClaire, 8100 Long Avenue from Keeney to Reba, and 7900 Keeler from Kirk to Oakton. So we will start with the 5100 block of Elm Street from Laramie to LeClaire. And I believe Valerie and Nathaniel Fisher, or at least Valerie and soon-to-be child. So. Shall I start to read? Okay. This lively block party centered around the theme, Rock the Block. Invitations were extended to residents on both the 5,000 and 5,100 blocks of Elm Street, bringing together more than 80 neighbors for a vibrant community gathering. The celebration featured live music by the band Rich's Britches, a cornhole tournament, egg toss. I don't know if that's connected with the former store, but that's kind of a cool name. Egg toss and balloon toss, a bounce house, and a kids' corner filled with games and prizes. A fire pit with s'mores and a visit from the Skokie Fire Department added to the festive atmosphere. Neighbors also contributed appetizers, desserts, and drinks, while dinner was catered by La Taquiza. Through strong participation and thoughtful planning, the event created a welcoming and energetic environment that brought multiple blocks together. Congratulations to the 5100 block of Elm Street. The 8100 block of Long, Kelsey Casperson and friends. All right. So residents on the 8100 block of Long Avenue revived their neighborhood block party in 2021 after more than 20 years without a block party. Since then, the event has grown into a valued annual tradition, and the 2025 celebration marked its 5th year. As I understand it, from 20 years before, the treasurer still had a $20 bill and held it for the 20 years, so. Yes. I thought that was so cool. This year's block party highlighted the creativity and talents of neighbors across the block. Activities included live music performed by Long Avenue residents, a water relay race, face painting, inflatables race. That was something. You got to see this. A bounce house and a DIY engineered dunk tank. Neighbors shared a potluck-style meal and gathered under custom patio lights that residents designed and installed across the street, transforming the block into a welcoming shared space for the evening. The event showcased the strong sense of collaboration and pride within the neighborhood. Congratulations to the residents of the 8100 block of Long Avenue. The 7900 block of Keeler, Alex Chaparro heading that up. The 7900 block of Keeler, yeah, come on up, folks. The 7900 block of Keeler hosted a thoughtfully planned gathering centered around bringing neighbors together and strengthening connections throughout the block. Activities were especially popular with the kids, including bounce houses, plural, bike rides, giant bubbles, and a piñata that took a team effort to break. The celebration also featured great visits from the Skokie Police and Fire Departments. Many members of our police are with us this evening. Thank you guys always for participating. It's just a real fun time to have the two departments come and participate in the parties. Neighbors shared a potluck-style meal under the theme Taste of Keeler Avenue, with residents contributing dishes and treats, including a cotton candy machine that was a hit with attendees. Planning meetings and informal driveway gatherings throughout the summer helped neighbors connect even before the block party, and the event welcomed participation from everyone on the block, including residents from the nearby 12-unit building. Congratulations to the 7900 block of Keeler Avenue. So after I finish with a few more words, we'd like the 3 blocks representatives to just join us in the foyer to take some photos. On April 29th, we will be hosting our annual Block Party Forum, where we provide interested residents with ideas and methods to host their own party this coming season. We'll feature a panel of experts, actually the winners of those 3 blocks, of these 3 awards, to give their advice on what they did to make their events so much fun. Please join us on April 29th at 6:30 at the library for the Block Party Forum. On behalf of the Human Relations Commission, thank you to all the residents who organized and participated in block parties this year. Your efforts help make Skokie a welcoming and connected community. And congratulations again to our 2025 Block Party of the Year winners. Thank you.
Congratulations to all. I would ask for everyone, just if you'd be kind enough to stay seated, we are going to take a 5-minute recess after the next item in the agenda. Before we proceed, though, I'd like to give 2 quick shouts out. One is to Alex Chaparro, who was in the Keeler Avenue block. Alex has just resigned with regret from the Human Relations Commission after many years of service. I believe you were vice chair for a while, and we're so grateful to you, Alex, and so proud of all your accomplishments. I'd also like to give a shout out to one of the recipients or someone who's involved in the Long Avenue Block Party, Nia Tavalaris. Nia, little did Nia know that when she agreed to volunteer for the 4th of July parade last year, that she would become the vice chair of the parade this year. But thanks to her stepping up, it's she and Lisa Hanley as the co-chair. It's going to be a terrific parade. So, Nia, thank you for what you do for your block, with your neighbors, and for stepping up to co-chair the parade. Okay, the next item is the swearing in of a new police officer. Always an exciting occasion. The new officer will be sworn in by Ferdinand Soko of the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners.
Good evening, Mayor Tanis, trustees, Chief Barnes. I would like to especially acknowledge the family and friends of Officer Powell. This is for sure a proud moment for all of you, and I extend my congratulations and thank you for supporting Officer Powell. We must never forget that the men and women who serve as first responders deserve our admiration. They are often the first on the scene to provide security and comfort to those who are suffering and in need. We provide our first responders with authority to promote and keep peace. They have earned our respect, support, and gratitude, and it is my great honor to be part of this special ceremony. Thank you. Officer Powell. Follow on that while you please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Okay.
I
I, Quentin Powell,
do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
do solemnly swear that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
the state of Illinois,
the state of Illinois,
the ordinances of the village of Skokie,
the ordinances of the village of Skokie,
and the rules and regulations of the police department
and the rules and regulations of the police department
and the Skokie Board of Fire and Police Commissioners,
and the Skokie Board of Fire and Police Commissioners,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of a police officer
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of a police officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got it? Thank you. And, yep, the 16th. Thank you. Congratulations.
Officer Powell, if you would kindly stay at the podium for a moment. Thank you, Mr. Soko. First of all, congratulations. We are grateful
Thank
to you. You've chosen a noble profession, and we congratulate you on joining the ranks of Skokie's finest to serve and protect our community. So thank you. Would you care to introduce any family or friends who joined you here this evening?
Absolutely. My mom, Linda Smith Powell. My sister, Victoria Powell, sitting next to her. My beautiful niece, Anastasia Winters, sitting next to her. And my gorgeous and wonderful girlfriend, Carla Moya, sitting right there.
Thank you, and thank you all for sharing your loved one with us in service to our community. Again, our gratitude extends to you as well. So with that, we will take a 5-minute recess. Actually, I think we will reconvene. We're going to go about 7 minutes, so at 5 minutes to 8, we will reconvene. So we will reconvene. My apologies for going a couple minutes over. Lots of pictures, lots of celebrations out there. The next item on our agenda this evening is public comment. This public comment period, and the one that we will open at the end of our meeting, is for individuals to address the village board in regards to items that are not included on this evening's agenda. Each person is allotted up to a precise 3 minutes. Please note that this is an opportunity to address the board, and thus we are listening. It's our time to listen to you, and we will not respond. The agenda will allow up to a total of 30 minutes. And again, speakers who choose to make a comment during this first open public comment period are not eligible to make another comment at the one that we will open at the close of our meeting. So with all of those ground rules set, who would like to address the village board? If you would, please come up to the podium. We'd ask for your name, and if you care to share, we'd be curious to know whether or not you live in Skokie. Mr. Whitaker.
Good evening. My name is Christopher Whitaker, 303 Forest View Road. Better? Okay. I first want to thank the Village Board of Trustees for their efforts in addressing the issue of ICE during the Committee of the Whole, particularly particular thanks to the City Corporation Council and the Chief of Police. I will suggest that if there is a challenge with how the village reacts to ICE agents in terms of confrontation, then the best way to do it is to avoid it altogether. If the village were to notify residents either when they get word of an impending immigration enforcement or when they become aware of one by notifying the school districts that are in bounds of our village boundaries, by utilizing our Skokie newsletter, or by utilizing a different setting for the sirens, this would help clear the streets, avoid confrontation, while making us all safer. If that is a good alternate path, and I think that would make the village safer. Thank you.
Ms. Grodnicki.
Nope. There we go. Sorry. Believe me, I'm saving time. Okay, this is where I ended last time when I was talking about how, adjusted for inflation, the number of billion-dollar storms has been steadily increasing. This is a similar plot, but it's broken down by the type of storm. And green is severe storm count, which can mean all kinds of things. But the point is that storms are getting more expensive because they're getting stronger, because the air is getting warmer. If we talk about the true cost of storms, people lose their home, at least temporarily. And you might say, well, okay, but the insurance will pay for it. Well, as we saw with what happened last Valentine's Day, that doesn't always happen. But on top of that, there are the psychological effects of losing all of your possessions. You don't have a kitchen, so you have to eat in restaurants, which is very expensive. Insurance isn't going to cover that. Right? There are all of these costs to losing a home that can't be recovered through insurance. Humans, and then how this impacts humans, humans are less efficient when it's hot. This was actually a really interesting article that was done with a natural experiment, or basically a natural experiment. The heat also damages staple crops, so depending on what time it is in its development, corn, either the collars won't form or the pollen will be sterile and you won't have any kernels on the cobs. Something similar happens to wheat in terms of the pollen being sterilized. And this costs taxpayers billions of dollars in bailouts on top of increased food costs. There are other crops that get damaged, including coffee and chocolate. You may have noticed that chocolate is more expensive now, and that's only partially because of tariffs. It's also partially because of global warming related climate problems where they're growing coffee and chocolate. It damages infrastructure directly, which hits municipalities the hardest. It causes roads to buckle. That was on display a couple of summers ago in a pretty spectacular way. It requires retrofitting buildings that don't have AC. In 2003, tens of thousands of people in Europe died because they had a heat wave. They had never had a heat wave before. They didn't need air conditioners, so nobody had one, and people died. It also causes or allows, right, it extends the ranges of insects. So the insects can be in places which are now warm enough for them that never were before. This is why we now have Zika in Florida. Reduced snowpack means that small rodents are seeking shelter indoors, and they bring things like hantavirus inside. Wildfires, we all know that our kids can't even play outside in the summer half the time now because the wildfire smoke from Canada is coming over here. Flooding increases the chance of mold, which causes lung problems, and humans, or actually all animals and fungi, are more closely related to each other than to bacteria, which is why it's really hard to have medicine to kill fungus.
So sorry, your time is up.
I'll get to the.
But I really
stuff
appreciated the
next.
sneak peek of that one graph that's very colorful. I can't wait till you get to
Which
that
one?
one. We'll get to that next time. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adam Bowker. I live at 8215 Lowell. I also wanted to speak about the issue of ICE in our community in support of trying to really get down in writing how our Skokie police officers can help our community when ICE is in town. My kids are mixed race, and when they were here around Halloween, they were afraid to go outside. They knew what helicopters were ICE and which ones weren't. We had people taken from our community. Even a couple of weeks ago, we had somebody taken from our community for a day or two. And I think that it would really help a lot of us in Skokie to kind of let our Skokie police help us as much as possible by documenting what's happening, validating that these people are actually who they say they are because they're not saying who they are. And when ICE in Minnesota and other places has abused people, killed people, they make up stories. They're making up lies. They're not following the Constitution. And if our Skokie police are called to a scene and they can document that these people are actually who they say they are, they can take a video of these people, they can make sure that what is actually happening is documented. There's a chain of custody over all of the things that have happened so that when people are taken from our communities, we can have a chance of finding them again. So I just wanted to speak in support of that, and I think it's really important that we, also for our police, that they know what is expected of them so they can support our community and we can keep having things like block parties that people feel safe to actually go to. Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. This is Imran Shah from Skokie. Been here for a little bit. I'm speaking tonight about governance and accountability and public trust in the village of Skokie. Over the past year, many residents have raised serious concerns about transparency, responsiveness, and how decisions are being made within the village administration. When residents bring forward legitimate concerns involving safety, access, code, enforcement, and basic services, too often those concerns appear to be dismissed or routed back to the same administrative structure responsible for those decisions. Local government exists first and foremost to serve its residents. Residents should never feel that their voices matter less than the development interests and administrative convenience. When people begin to feel that their concerns are not being heard, it erodes trust in the system. Another concern many residents have raised is the concentration of authority within a single administrator. When decision-making becomes centralized without meaningful oversight, it raises legitimate questions about accountability and transparency. In addition, recent ethics concerns raised by residents underscore the importance of transparency and independence in how those matters are reviewed. When an investigation is ultimately directed and reported back through the same administrative structure involved in the decisions being examined, it raises legitimate concerns about independence and further undermines public confidence. Ultimately, the village manager serves at the direction of the mayor and board of trustees. That means it is the responsibility of this board to ensure the village leadership reflects the needs and prioritizes the residents of Skokie. At this point, many residents believe that the current administration is not adequately listening to or addressing the concerns of residents, and that restoring trust will require new leadership that is responsive, accountable, and committed to serving this community. Skokie deserves leadership that listens to its residents, prioritizes public safety, and ensures government decisions are made transparently and in the public interest. If restoring the trust requires changes in administrative leadership, then this board must take responsibility seriously, including removing the current village manager, John Lockerbie. Thank you. I'm just going to hold my sign. Please listen to the village of Skokie's residents.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board during this public comment period? Michelle?
Well, in addition to saying thank you for the Block Party Award, I also want to say thank you because some of you know that our particular block had an issue, and we brought it to the attention here at the board, and we worked with people in our local government, and we were skeptical as to what may happen, but the reality is transparency as promised by this administration came through. We met with representatives of the village government, expressed ourselves. They brought up their viewpoints, and after some very healthy dialogues in which we had shared opinions and not shared opinions, I'm happy to say that we came to a resolution that was agreed on by both the village representatives and our block. And I just want to say thank you, because it shows that with a little time and effort and listening to each other, good things can happen, small or big. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? If not, we'll close this public comment period. The next item on the agenda is an exciting presentation on the strategic plan by Corey Porras-Pletch, who is the president CEO of CP2 Consulting.
I love it when there's a buildup like that. Thank you.
Drum roll.
Much appreciated. So thank you very much for having me back. Are you guys driving or am I? I am driving. All right. There we go. All right. So I am back here again. So as you recall, we've been kind of going through this for a while, and we are now kind of ending the end of that plan development. So you have in your packet a report to go ahead and look at. I want to thank you again for having me here. So as you guys recall, I've got the airplane graphic for you again. I'm sure you're so tired of this, but to kind of remember, we started off with that vision and that purpose kind of all the way at the beginning, right? What are we here to do? And if you think through where we are in terms of the process, we are getting down towards the runway. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So as a reminder, vision, Skokie is a welcoming, diverse, beautiful, and safe community committed to sustainability, inclusivity, and good government, empowering everyone to thrive. The mission, Skokie exemplifies good governance, delivering high-quality services efficiently, responsibly, and inclusively to meet community needs, plan for the future, and enhance quality of life for all. So since I came here last, and now we're not going. There we go. There we go. Since I came here last, we have been meeting with the implementation team. As you recall, the implementation team for each goal, we have 6 or so, 7, 8 implementation team members per goal. Those members are from a variety of job functions and roles within Skokie. The team met on February 5th to identify initiatives, really kind of narrow those down. How is it that we're going to be accomplishing the things that we've been talking about? Just as a reminder, initiatives are the plans, the programs, the strategies to help us meet our goals. And then to begin project planning. So project planning follows that RACI format, which is a project planning model, responsible, accountable, consulted, informed. What this does is that this gives us not only the tasks that we're going to do, but it actually gives us a structure to follow with timelines involved. So let's start talking through them. we are just struggling, but we are on the struggle bus here today. All right, we're gonna go back one more. There we go. All right. So village services for now and the future. That was what that goal was. So what are we gonna be doing here? That public safety dashboard program. So we're gonna be actually having some dashboard. Again, I'll let you guys go ahead and kind of read through, but these are gonna be going back to our outcomes and our targets, remember? So again, that village services for now and the future, our outcomes, again, outcomes is what does success look like? We can now go all the way across and see from our goal to what success looks like to actually the plans, programs, and strategies to help us get there. We'll be tracking on those targets as we go, but we can also, because we have those actual action plans, are we tracking progress in two ways? First, are we tracking progress towards those targets? And second of all, say we have a 12-step project plan, we can say, oh, we have 3 steps done. We are 1/4 of the way through our project plan. So we'll be tracking this in 2 different ways. Any questions on this? All right, seeing none, I'm gonna keep on going. Everyone has a place in Skokie. So we're gonna be doing things like having a youth commission established, formalizing an internship program. Again, I'll go ahead and let all of you read this, but again, plans, programs, and strategies to help us move towards our goal of everyone has that place in Skokie. Our outcomes for this, what does success look like? Again, those engaged youth, meeting residents where they are, and accessibility valued.
Well, we can already check one off that list because we started the youth commission. We're done.
I know.
Well, we're not done, but I mean, we launched
Yes,
it.
but we're, yes.
The framework,
yes.
it's been approved. It's been codified. I signed off on it a couple weeks ago.
There we go, there we go. And there's a couple of things as we've been kind of working through the process that I know have been done as well. Again, because we've been working on it as we've been also finalizing it as well. So yes, congratulations though on being able to check that box.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see the language, the village-wide language access and content policy. That's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
So I'm really pleased to see the village's evolution with it.
yeah.
Trustee Schechter?
And I just wanted to mention another thing that we didn't anticipate we'd be working on. I'm looking at under the initiatives, it just says a develop ADA and fair housing training plan for frontline staff. And I've been happy to work through the Human Relations Commission with staff to update our fair housing ordinance. So that will be, you'll be seeing that, Mr. Corporation Counsel.
Yeah. As part of the fun of the strategic plan, right, is to be able to take some of those really good ideas that have been out there for a while and be able to pull them in and to actually have some timelines now associated with that. Any other questions or comments around everyone has a good place in Skokie and kind of some of the initiatives and things we have in place here? All right, I'm gonna keep on going then. Community vibrancy. We're gonna be doing things like creating and implementing development service process improvement strategy, adopting an economic vitality strategy, again, village-wide property inspection and co-compliance program, establishing an infrastructure policy. And again, we're tying this again to those outcomes of simplified best practice zoning, economic development, expanded, safe housing for all stages of life, and that updated infrastructure. Any questions, comments? Yes, please.
I just wanted to clarify for all who may not recognize that safe housing for all stages of life is also something of a proxy for mixed income housing.
And I wanted to call out the second bullet point, the economic vitality strategy. That is something that, it's my understanding, village staff already has a request for proposals out. Am I not stating that?
It's prepared, but I don't
Prepared.
believe it's been issued yet.
Okay. Pending our budget discussion. That's right, you're not going to get the cart before the horse. What this would do is we would bring in a consultant, much as we've brought in Ms. Plash to create the strategic plan for us. We would be engaging another consultant to come in and create a community-wide economic vitality strategy. In the past, we've had strategies that have focused only on downtown Skokie. It's time that we had one that was, certainly downtown Skokie is important, but the vision this time around is that the strategy will extend beyond downtown Skokie. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that in our budget hearings next month and more to come on that.
Excellent, thank you. All All right, there we go. Great governance. I think I figured out the mouse. Again, what we're going to be doing here, formalizing some rules of engagement norms, standardizing agenda format, adopting and implementing a clear language ordinance policy, an AI tool to review some draft ordinances, ongoing training programs, and some other things there, including a strategic plan reporting program with public-facing dashboard, which I think is going to be really important. I did not figure out the mouse. See, shows ya. There we go. And again, this ties back to, again, what does success look like? That model village board, those well-designed ordinances, those collaborative partnerships, and then actually implementing those strategic plans. One of the things I told you about was important way back when I came to talk to you initially was we don't want a plan that sits on a shelf. So we want to make sure we've got a way to actually make sure that it's a living document. And that's what you see reflected here.
Can you talk a little bit about the public-facing dashboard? I know Glencoe has used that after going through this process.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so what's nice about that is that you're actually able to, and don't want to get, I'm going to give you my understanding of it, not working with directly, for the company that does it, but you're able to actually hook up you're actually able to integrate a lot of your data with that dashboard so that you're able to update it on a pretty regular basis, which will be really nice. You'll be able to go in and the public will be able to see a lot of what's going on. So it's a very integrated, it's very navigable and also very clear. You're able to really get in there and kind of click around. Again, Glencoe is a really nice example of that, but they've also worked with several communities in Minnesota, Bloomington, Minnesota,
Right.
Maplewood, Minnesota. So there's a lot of different places that use Invisio, but for sure here in Illinois, Glencoe, and there's some others that aren't coming to mind right off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on great governance? All right, financial stewardship. Again, we're going to be doing things like decreasing reliance on those state shared revenues, inventorying municipal assets for potential leases, reviewing and escalating fee structure, identifying and documenting core services in each department, a core process improvement program, really looking at the processes that we have and seeing some ways that we might be able to do something different with them, a cross-training strategy for key frontline staff, and then that board finance training program that I know several of you are actually looking forward to. And then again, what does outcome look like? Things like that sustainable revenue, the diverse revenue streams, and then processes improved and cost contained. Any questions, comments about this one? All right, then in conclusion, I just want to thank all of you for your efforts with this and also the community, the Spirit Committee. This really has been a community effort from all of the stakeholder engagements with surveys and focus groups, the Spirit and Committee and all that they did out there engaging the community through working with the board and working with staff. It really has been such a robust effort. I want to thank everyone for, it really has been a lot of fun for me to work with the village on this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Corey. It's been a pleasure. Does anyone have any questions for Corey? Trustee Iverson?
Not a question, just a statement if that's okay. I really didn't understand strategic plans. And, the process has been fantastic. And I don't think it's going to sit on the shelf. The pillars of this work that has been done is immediately applicable to what we've been doing this afternoon. Directly and immediately, I could tick it off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anyway, I just think it's terrific. All the
Thank
work.
you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. And you guys can come look for me if it does sit on a shelf and we'll fix that, but I don't think it will either. So thank you.
Right. So the purpose is to guide our work so that
Yeah.
we don't get scattered. This is what the community told us. This is for the next, 2-3 years we're going to work on. You mentioned the Spirit Committee. I'd like to, did she just leave? She
Oh,
just
no.
left. Emma Yamauchi. She just, okay, when she comes back, we'll surprise her with a round of applause. She was on the Spirit Committee. So,
Yes.
before Corey leaves the podium, any other questions? Yes, Trustee Lissa Levy.
Just another thank you for all your hard work and for making this strategic planning process easy, free-flowing, clear, and really excited to have a clarity of vision that we can take action on. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Trustee Kamani Levy.
I do have one. Will we be provided with some sort of retrospective, like what we could have done different through the process, what we did really well through the process that next time we're doing this many, many, many years from now, we should keep doing?
Sure, I would be happy to. I don't have something like that, but I certainly would be happy to sit down and think that through and provide something like that to you. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. It
Yeah.
would be, certainly would be of value if it's not outside of the scope of what we contract. I don't want to pile on, you're at the tail end, and now all of a sudden there's another ask. But yeah, I think that could be valuable. So thank you, Trustee Kamani Levy, for that suggestion.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent.
All
Thank
right.
you all.
Thank you.
all so much.
Okay, the next item, and I'd like to, just before we go on, I'd like to just thank my colleagues for their investment in this process. I'd like to really give a shout out to village staff, Nick, John, I know Patrick was involved, everybody, every single, I mean, there's not been a department director or an assistant director and a lot of other staff who have been involved in this and who will be involved as, the dashboard goes up and we start to get, roll up our sleeves and get to work on a lot of this. Also like to really, the next phase, and really we timed this intentionally to come up against our budget. So when we sit in the budget hearings next month, what we saw up here, what the community told us we need to be doing, that's going to be reflected in how the village staff comes to us with their budgets and what they're going to be requesting to now put this plan into action. Now that Ms. Yamauchi is back in the room, I am going to give you a thank you and shout out. You are the sole representative of the Spirit Committee who's here this evening. And I was told, and this may be fiction, but we'll go with it regardless, but I was told that you took it upon yourself, Ms. Yamauchi, to actually go on, was it public transit, or you made sure that there was, Corey shaking her head, that you really worked hard at some overlooked, oft overlooked spaces to try to garner community engagement. And well, we are grateful to you, and the Spirit Committee was a very high-functioning team, and I'm busy at work thinking of where else we might try to plug that committee. Trustee Kamani Levy, that's right, you were the liaison to the Spirit Committee, so thank you, Trustee Kamani Levy. Forgive me for forgetting that, thank you. So thank you, Ms. Yamauchi. Thank you, Corey. Okay, next item is the report of our village manager, John Lockerbie.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees, and everyone. Good evening. Items A and B were approved as part of tonight's consent agenda, and that completes my report this evening.
Whoa, that was short and sweet. Thank you, John. The next item on the agenda is the report of our Corporation Counsel, Steve Elrod, who's not going to be so fast because the item was taken off of the consent agenda.
That's correct, Mayor. On the agenda now for board consideration is the second reading of an ordinance that would, if approved, allow for site plan approval for the 4600 Main Street development, which it consists of 68 residential dwelling units. I know that the matter was pulled from the consent agenda so that we can hear from our fire chief on one specific matter, but I do want to, as long as it's now off the agenda, note to the village board that the ordinance that has been drafted first implements your strategic plan by being your first clear language ordinance. I did attempt in this document to remove as much legalese as possible. At some point, you will see the removal of all whereas clauses, but I'm taking baby steps here in Skokie. But the ordinance does also include a number of very impactful protective provisions for the village of Skokie and neighbors, including at the request of the mayor and several trustees, a requirement of demonstration of financial ability to build and complete the project at two different points. First, prior to the issuance of a building permit, and then again prior to the building, any vertical construction. It requires detailed construction plans, a traffic management plan during construction, and a construction oversight a contact person. And it also requires best efforts to hire local, Village of Skokie, during construction. So you'll start seeing these new provisions in your zoning approval documents. This is the first one, and I wanted to highlight just a couple of them. You've all seen the ordinance. And now, Manager Lockerbie, are we going to just
I'd like to
ask-
hear from, one thing, just if I may, to react to what you said, I did also notice that the provision for a construction contact, that extended after construction, the way I read it. Wasn't there a provision that?
During and after.
During and after, yeah. So I appreciated the longevity of that. Trustee Iverson, you requested this be pulled from consent. So can you briefly tell us what you're wanting to know?
Sure. In particular, our code incorporates the International Fire Code, IFC, and the appendices. Appendix D includes a section 105D that it's providing rules with regards to access roads. And we have a resident that is seeking clarity on that particular section and how this plan adheres to it.
So, Mayor, we think it would be best for our fire chief to come on up. Oh, he's there?
Chief Eschner.
And provide that clarity.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees. Thank you for the opportunity. I think it's always important to kind of describe the why we got to those appendices. And so when we evaluate risk within the village, those appendices, which we adopted the last time we did a code cycle, gave us more opportunity to further manage risk. And so the IFC says that 20 feet is the requirement, but based on some of the risks that we have within the village, we have the ability to apply that. Now, these are single-family homes with sprinkler systems. As far as our risk is concerned, or our building stock is concerned, this is very, very, minimal compared to the risk that we see. And so, the 20 feet, actually 24 feet that we have is more than enough. I will kind of go through this a little bit. The one problem with like a model code is it's just the overarching, and so it doesn't understand Skokie. And so I'll give you an example of that 26 feet. Our roads in residential areas are 36 to 24 feet, but you put a car there, that's 6 feet, you put a car on another side. All right, now we're down to 24 feet if there's no snow, ice, anything else, and that's on our largest residential street. And so we manage this on a regular basis. Never are we operating with this 26 feet that is prescribed or required. The other kind of thing that was brought to my attention is the 15 to 30 foot range that the access road has to be. Well, if you took our model code and applied that across our village, that wouldn't work. We have setbacks, so I call a setback from the curb line to the front of the house, and we have setbacks about 40 to 42 feet on average. And so every building we put up, every occupancy that we have, technically doesn't meet these appendices, on a regular basis. And so, that's the difficulty with the model code, that you're stuck with everything, but that doesn't always apply to what works here. And so that's what gives you the ability of a performance-based model, and that's what we apply. We made sure that the fire truck that's in concern is able to drive through there. We're comfortable that we're able to operate on it. That's within the provisions of anything else that we operate on within this village. And we're not contending mature trees, which we love in this village. We're not contending with those, or some of the other issues that we have without sprinkler protection. Yes, Trustee Lee.
Can you speak to the building height requirement in terms of ladder vehicles and access to the roofs of these
Sure.
structures?
Yep, so 35 feet, I believe, is the height of this proposed development. We do carry 35-foot ladders. Obviously, you put it on an angle, that's about 30. So we're still able to do life safety, of all the residential spaces with our ground ladders. In addition to that, we've invested in the newest technology of aerial ladders that's up at, as Tower 18. And so that has a width or a span that's able to easily serve this building, you know. And then we're also invested in a new Tower 16. It's about a year and a half out with manufacturing costs, but that'll be here too. But the first due truck to that is that mid-mount that has that shorter width that would easily allow us to get up to that roof. And then we also carry the full, you know, complement of ground ladders that would allow us for any life-saving initiative, you know, through any window access.
So you're confident that deviating from International Fire Code in these two cases is well within your ability to handle a structural fire at this site?
Yeah, with confidence. You know, we're not doing this at will. This is through a performance-based model. We're making sure that all this works. And like I say, these are scenarios that, based on the community that we live and work in, these are scenarios we're used to dealing with on a regular basis. Without the sprinkler protection that we're going to have here, without the newer, you know, building materials and all the things that we're going to be privy to here.
And does anyone else have a question for Chief Eschner? Okay, then I would ask for a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Schechter.
Yeah, I would have asked to take this off the consent agenda, but because of the lack of on-site affordable housing, and I had voted no in the last meeting, I want to maintain my no vote.
Well, we will take a vote, so you'll have
Oh,
the
I see.
opportunity to
Okay.
vote as your conscience tells you to vote. So our Corporation Counsel, I'm going to ask you to help me wordsmith it. So what I'm looking for is a motion to
Approve an
approve
ordinance.
an ordinance granting site approval and related relief for the construction and establishment of a townhouse development at 4600 Main Street, Skokie, Illinois, in the R4 multifamily district. Is there a motion? Trustee Iverson, second. Trustee Keith Robinson. Any questions? Okay, is there anyone who would like to address the board on this matter? We will allow up to 5 speakers for a precise 3 minutes each.
I was told I could bring a presentation on a drive. I don't know what to do with this.
Help is on the way.
Thank you.
And Mr. Marley, I just wanted to point out, and I'm sure you know this, you will be held to the same 3-minute standard. Okay, just wanted to.
I'm going to cut a bunch of stuff out.
Didn't want any
Our fire chief has
surprises.
given a lot of background, so I won't even need 3 minutes.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for having us here today and pulling this off the consent agenda. My name's Ken Marley. I'm a 15-year resident of Skokie. Raised my family here. I'm a 15-year consulting engineer. I deal with the IFC, IRC. I brush up against the fire code, though I'm not as fluent as our fire chief is. But what I'm just going to blast through a lot of this because he's established the facts. IRC governs. We have Appendix D. We have access road requirements. 30 feet is the triggering point. I'd like to focus on this one slide, if any of them. Appendix D 105 does grant the ability to make an exception to the fire code, to the access road requirements. If you'll look at the underlined portion here, where approved by the fire code official, buildings of type 1A, 1B, or type 2A, which are what's known as non-combustible structures, if you have that equipped with automatic sprinklers, which we have, and having fire access through an enclosed stairway with a Class 1 standpipe from lowest level to all roof surfaces. It's not been demonstrated to me, to the public, that we have non-combustible construction materials. Based on elevations provided, it seems to me as an engineering professional that we more likely have a type 3 or ordinary construction. That's going to be your masonry, that's going to be your wood frame buildings. Also on the plans provided, we don't see an enclosed stairway that provides roof access. There's no mention of that. It's not called out. And while I do have great respect for the work you do, Police Fire Chief, we have colleagues in common. I work with a colleague that turns out they used to be formerly employed together. So great respect for the work that you do. And I guess my concern is that, you know, if we haven't demonstrated that we've met the requirements of our code, then me as a design professional would like to see that we either change our code to meet the level of confidence we have in our abilities, or we actually meet the language of the code itself. That's all I got for now. Appreciate your time. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. That has a virus on it.
Mr. Shaw?
I would like to raise a concern regarding fire safety oversight and code enforcement within the village, based on my own experience.
Mr. Shaw, this is specifically about this project.
I know.
Okay, just to be clear, because you were talking about around the village. We're talking.
Yeah, I'm talking about in general, the
Okay.
village not following safety standards. Is that okay?
Proceed.
Can we reset the timing?
We'll give you another few seconds here and there.
I would like to raise a concern regarding the fire safety oversight and code enforcement within the village, based on my own experience as well as observations on how certain conditions have been handled. There appear to be inconsistencies in how fire code and safety standards are applied and enforced. These are not minor issues. Fire safety standards exist to protect life and property, and they should be applied consistently and without exceptions. When there are apparent deviations from commonly accepted fire safety practices or a lack of enforcement, it raises serious concerns about resident safety and accountability. I respectfully request that the village review its fire code enforcement practices to ensure they are consistent, transparent, and aligned with established safety standards. Thank you.
Sir?
Good evening. My name is Art Linsner. I'm a resident on Elm Terrace for about 25 years. And my only concern with the access to the fire equipment is whether it's been factored in what it would be like to make turns from Kenton and Kilpatrick into the complex at peak traffic hours, and also when there may be a lot of service vehicles like garbage trucks and Amazon delivery vehicles, FedEx things, whether that's been factored in when considering the access from the emergency equipment. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Yamauchi.
Amy Yamauchi, Skokie resident. I just want to repeat my concerns again, that one, I really do feel that the voices of the neighborhood residents should have been listened to much more closely. Number two, I think that whenever a development project changes hands, either the developer or the owner, that should spur the village to go back in and seek community-wide benefits, in this case, on-site affordable housing, regardless of whether or not this project was originally not covered by the, whatever we're calling it, the inclusive zoning ordinance. But I do believe that when a project gets a new owner, a new developer, then the village should go back in and seek community-wide benefits. And last but not least, I'm glad that the fire chief believes in his professional judgment that everything is safe, regardless, even if we are not following to the letter the International Fire Code. But that, to me, raises other issues. How are we, I understand it's performance-based, but it still gives me pause. So, thank you.
Mayor, if I could, I'd like to clarify.
Please.
And Fire Chief, I'm going to ask you to correct me if I'm wrong. But, so the village is following the fire code. The fire code is two components. There is the base code, and then there's appendices. And the appendices are enhancements, even extra requirements. In this particular development, the appendices are not being followed. The base code is being followed. And Chief, if you would, just correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're 100% correct there. The entire, IFC, the base code is being followed, actually exceeded. And, the appendices, we're 2 feet shorter on the access compared to what could be asked for a aerial apparatus. And so instead of the 26 that we could ask for, we have the 24, which, like I expressed, is more than comfortable, something we operate on a regular basis.
Chief, could you take a moment, please, to address the question that Mr. Linsner asked?
Sure.
About ingress and egress from the side streets?
No, most definitely. Obviously, that's our utmost concern. And so a development like this has 2 points of access and egress. And that's for situations where the Amazon truck maybe is parked and not being a good neighbor. And so we have multiple ways, but we also have those drawings where we have our largest truck, and then we build some safety factors into it, and we have that engineered come through the entire development, making sure that we can make all the turns and be able to access and provide service within that development or that, structure. So all that's been considered, and, we're comfortable with that. And that's something that we're used to operating on a regular basis. You're welcome.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Pierce-Lovan?
Aye.
Trustee Schechter?
No.
Trustee Kimani Levy?
Aye.
Trustee Robinson?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Lissa Levy?
Nay.
The motion carries. That's it?
Yep.
We're done. Thank you to our Corporation Council. The next item on the agenda is Plan Commission Case 2025-24P, a special use permit for the property at 3941 Oakton Street. And giving us the presentation this evening is Community Development Director Johanna Neiden.
Do I pull the PowerPoint up?
Always good to see Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. All right, good evening. Happy to be here to present case 2025-24P. The Plan Commission recommends approval of this case, a special use permit for the Assyrian National Council of Illinois to operate a civic, social, and fraternal organization at 3941 Oakton Street, located in the B2 Commercial Zoning District. At its February 19th meeting, the Plan Commission voted 7-0 in favor, with two members absent, to advance the special use permit with a positive recommendation, including a recommendation to approve the requested parking relief. As a bit of background, this organization was originally granted a special use permit in 2014, but ceased operations during COVID. They are now resuming the operation of this building and will require a new special use permit. The facility seats up to 56 people, as you can see, and has 9 on-street parking spaces. The requirement is 14, so they're requesting relief to have the 9. The space functions as a not-for-profit community space. Permitted hours of operation as a condition of the special use are 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And the programming includes meetings, educational events, cultural activities, senior services, and occasional private events. And to help address the parking demand at this location, the petitioner plans to operate shuttle buses from its satellite location at 9131 Nile Center Road. Happy to answer any questions. The applicant is also here to answer questions.
Trustee Kimani Levy.
I love this idea, and I thought that the shuttle buses was also a very good idea, considering where they'd have to come from. My question is, where would the buses stop? Would they stop on Oakton, or would they back it into the parking spaces? Is there something in the rear?
So
What
maybe
would that look
the
like?
applicant could come and talk about where the buses, when they come and go and how they go.
Yes, Steve Morano, Senior National Council Director. Yes, we have basically SUVs, minivans, because for our home care service business where we go see our clients and workers. At the same time, at our community center banquet, we will bring them in easily. If we had to come through the alley or through the front, we could pull in. There's enough easement in there to come in and out. Again, we're small vehicles. Even if we have to, we've had other Syrian community shuttles, like they do like black limousines, what do you call it, the bigger SUVs, if we needed those, because we help with the church and everything, we're such a big community, we're always helping everybody. So we always have support from everybody who needs it. A lot of them too will be probably most likely, they're local, some of them walk, some of them in the summertime they'll ride their bike, and we're very, it's probably going to be, excuse me, jumping off, but it'll be about 5 weeks in the summertime when we're at a community center. We have our summer camp with the students. We have them there, so we'll move them 5 weeks over there. After that, we have the election. We're area 2 for the election tomorrow. So we thought about bringing them over there for these 2 days, but we're like, you know what, it's too cold. Stay home. So we're like, stay home, everybody. So yeah, I mean, we got plenty. Yeah.
Thank you, that's helpful.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any other questions for either Director Neiden or our petitioner, I'm sorry, your
Steve
name?
Morano, yeah.
Mr. Morano,
Yeah,
thank you.
That's fine.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hold tight. Is there anyone who would like to address the board about this matter? Okay, there being none, what I would ask for is a motion to approve Plan Commission Case 2025-24P, a special use permit for 3941 Oakton Street. Moved by trustee Kamani Levy, seconded by trustee Keith Robinson. Any other comments, questions? If not, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Pierce-Lovan?
Aye.
Trustee Schechter?
Aye.
Trustee Kimani Levy?
Aye.
Trustee Robinson?
Aye.
Trustee Iverson?
Aye.
Trustee Lissa Levy?
Aye. And the motion passes. Congratulations and thank you for being part of our community. Last item on the agenda is our final public comment time. We will allow up to 30 minutes in 3-minute increments for any speaker. Would anyone like to address the village board? Okay. There being none, we will close this public comment period, and the next item is a motion to adjourn. Trustee Lissa Levy, trustee Kamani Levy is seconded. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Pierce-Lovan?
Aye.
Trustee Schechter? Aye. Trustee Kimani Levy?
Aye.
Trustee